Wouldn't it be amazing to actually be able to just like cut like that without using a comb?
How would you actually do that?
It always makes me laugh too when you're watching a movie and you can just tell that somebody's not a hairdresser when you see them like...
Hello everyone, James Martin here. Welcome back to another brand new video. I'm super excited today because we're doing something brand new. I'm here with a good friend and colleague, Melissa from Beauty and Babes. And what we're going to do today is we're going to watch a few video clips from some really good, well-known movies and TV shows that all have to do with hair styles and hair salons and cutting and all that stuff. So right now I'm going to pass it on to Melissa so she can sort of introduce herself and what she does. Thank you so much, Melissa, for joining us. Why don't you introduce who you are and what is it that you do?
Thanks for having me. My name is Melissa Ferguson. I own a company called Beauty and Babes, and we are not only a salon, but we are also a beauty training academy. So we help new and aspiring beauticians start their careers, plus we help seasoned professionals launch their careers and take them to the next level.
Fantastic. And also Melissa and I are collaborating where I've done a whole new 2-hour video course on how to teach people how to make videos using their mobile phone. And that's going to be a part of her brand new academy to also help upcoming hair professionals. So if you want to check that course out, I'll put a link down in the description where you can go and check that out. Oh, we're in for a treat.
I'm excited. Wouldn't it be amazing to actually be able to just like cut like that without using a comb? It'd be a pretty big time saver for sure. It actually kind of reminds me, so we deal with a lot of autistic children and they don't like combs. So when we do go in and cut their hair, we're just kind of like nipping away at it. So that's kind of what that reminds me of, but it's very unrealistic. I can't see anyone ever just going to town with 3 or 4 pairs of scissors.
Well, do you see any particular challenges if, let's say, you had blades on your fingers? Like, how would you imagine cutting someone's hair? Would that be extremely difficult, or do you think that would make the job easy?
No, I'm thinking that would make it a lot harder. We have this one technique where we don't use combs, and it's for acrylic hair cutting, and it is kind of just picking it up. But honestly, like, it scares the crap out of me because we part the hair with the scissors, and I'm always so afraid that my blades are going to slip open and I'm going to cut things that I don't want to cut. Like, I can't even imagine just like going to town and hacking away like that. Like, I mean, look at his face. It's a pretty good indication it's not a good idea. Apparently this lovely lady really enjoys it though. Probably just thankful that her throat hasn't been slit in that process.
Do you have that ever happen where you know that you've made a mistake, but they're still happy with it anyways?
No, I can't say that I, like, recently. I mean, when I was definitely a younger hairstylist, I would have those moments of self-doubt where I'm like, oh shoot, I definitely screwed up. But in the last, like, 8 or 9 years, I can't say it's ever been an issue.
Do you have times when a client might ask for a hairstyle that you might disagree with, or you might think may not be a good idea, and you just go along with it?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely try and kind of talk and guide the client into what is more suitable for them. But if they're dead set on that's what they want, I mean, who am I to tell them that they can't have it? So I'll definitely guide them and suggest things that are better for their face shape or better for their lifestyle, because I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily get a haircut for their lifestyle. If they're really active, they're like having bangs and like a short bob isn't going to be conducive to them going to the gym and sweating and working it, because they're not going to be able to pull it back. So we kind of go over things like that, but I would never not do something because I don't agree with it. The only circumstance to that would be if I physically cannot do it. Like if they want to color it, it's just not obtainable, then I would flat out say no.
Chair.
She seems like a real peach. I've like straight up always been so afraid of fans doing that when they start to wobble. It always makes me laugh too when you're watching a movie and you can just tell that somebody's not a hairdresser when you see them like cut a straight line. You're like, oh my god, what is this person like actually doing?
Well, I'm just looking at your face and you're just like, how is this place open?
Yeah. But yeah, it's funny when you watch a movie like that, you can tell that the actor's not actually a hairstylist, because you would never take a pair of scissors and just like hack like that. Like, it's almost cringeworthy. You're like, how, like, that lady's hair is so screwed up. And then they come out and they look like this beautiful like bombshell, and you're like, yeah, that's that's not what that haircut would look like.
So just out of curiosity, when you say like normally you wouldn't just straight up do that, so what would be the approach to that? How is this not a good idea?
So if you cut very straight, it looks very blocky. So typically you would want to either cut into it, which is called a point cut, or you would actually like take the hair and actually like bring it to this side and then cut this way. If you're going to cut straight, because it would create an angle. So when she went in and she kind of just cut like that, it would look very like angular.
Right.
Very blocky.
I know that whenever I've gone to get a haircut, that sometimes depending on the hair stylist, I guess is the proper term, they like to sort of decorate their desk or have whatever they need at their table. So it could be pictures. Because I wanted to ask, like, is there any sort of things that, like especially with your employees, that they are absolutely not allowed to have at their desk that they've wanted to bring in?
So like we're fairly lenient, and I got a pretty like no judgment space. So like I let my girls like decorate their spaces. I had one girl here and she had this like really ugly mermaid, and it like sat on her. It used to drive me nuts. Like it was creepy. You'd walk and it would like follow you. But I've never really enforced anything. Like I don't like them having like food other than water at their desk, that kind of thing. But if they want to decorate and like their space is their personality, right? And they do tend to attract their type of clientele, and so it just adds that personality and that connection. But yeah, if it's like health board issues, then no, we don't let that kind of stuff happen. Other than that, it's kind of go to town. Most of my girls are actually way more organized than I am. It's usually my station that's not.
Well, I was gonna say, I can imagine that probably by the beginning of the day everything is all neat, and then by the end of the day, after seeing, I don't know, several dozen clients, then all of a sudden it's a complete disaster.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, because we're definitely going into a new era here after, it's going to be interesting because everything is going to have to be like stocked and cleaned and disinfected. So I think there's going to, like, our stations are definitely going to stay a lot cleaner throughout the day. But yeah, by the end of the day, there's like clips and bowls and everything. And we try our best to kind of like have one space in the studio that we like huck stuff in that like clients can't see. And we deal with it at the end of the day, but yeah, it gets hectic.
All right, so let's hop to Mr. Bean.
But just give him a good haircut, will you? Be good, Jamie. It's a terrible mess.
The child can tell you what they want. Oh my God.
I have to admit, like, me knowing nothing about haircutting whatsoever, like when I saw him put the bowl over the child's head and then cut the mushroom cut around it, at first it made a lot of sense, but I'm actually curious. So how would you actually do that?
To be honest, in the 15 years I've done hair, I've never cut a bowl cut, but essentially you would leave the top longer and you would shave the undersides, but you would bring all the sides like right up to the top. I can't say a bowl cut is ever gonna come back into style. I don't think they were ever in style to start with, so it's not really a technique that I'm gonna put a lot of effort into learning. But yeah, essentially you would pull all the top up and shave the sides.
I was laughing so hard when he accidentally shaved the back of his head off, and then it occurred to me that, I mean, when you're cutting hair, like obviously like someone like you has been well trained, you know exactly what you're doing, but I can imagine for a beginner, if you take too much off, that's it. You can't magically make the hair grow back. And so it's like, if you take too much off, you somehow have to make everything else work around that.
Yeah, you definitely have to start kind of like blending. So the head shape is kind of straight, and then it kind of curves at what's called, I think it's the apex. So it kind of curves, and then you have to kind of start to blend it up and around a little bit. So there are ways to kind of blend it in areas and kind of like bevel it so it comes in and out like that. But there's no way to like 100% fix it. When I was actually doing my apprenticeship, I worked up in school by a local college, and there was all of these guys, and they would like shave each other's heads, and they get drunk and they think that they could like tattoo in each other's hair and everything. And then they come in and they'd be like, well, can you fix it? And I'm like, no, honey, like he shaved a giant bald spot in your head. So like, do you want me to shave it all? Like I can do that for you, but like I can't fix it. There are like hair fibers and stuff too nowadays that people can like shake in their hair and it will like make hair look thicker. But yeah, I mean, or there's that like George Costanza like spray on stuff. But yeah, there's no real way to like fix a bald spot. Like my mom straight up gave my dad one.
Thanks so much, Melissa, for joining and watching this stuff. And by the way, if you want to check out the links to Beauty and Babes and our new course and her new academy, check out the links down in the description. Melissa, thank you so much for joining again.
Thanks for having me.
And then for everyone at home, please make sure you like this video and subscribe because we got new videos coming down the pipeline every single week. You don't want to miss out. Take care, and I'll see you next time.